Dubai is actually what inspired me to know that it was actually possible. When I went to Dubai in 2004, it was only 2 buildings up. You go there now, it's like, what the f is this? You know what I'm saying? And at the time, that's when I realized that it's about leadership. Because when you have a person that's leading and he's well respected and he understands that the people come first and the needs of the people come first, the support that you can get is endless, especially when you have the resource to bargain with. See, the Middle East, the only resource they have is oil. That's all they got. And they were able to do all that with just one resource. Look at Africa that has over 350 major resources. No, like major resources. Mm-hmm. To the point where this camera that's looking at me, to the mic that's looking at me, all those elements are from resources in Africa. Like, but we don't have access to any of it. And then the ones that do have access don't know the value of it. So they just pass it out. You know what I mean? So when I saw what Dubai was able to do with that and be able to create agreements with those resources that actually brought the money back to the Middle East for them to develop that for their country, I said, you know what? This is where it's at right here. This is going to be my life goal, to figure out a way to do that for Africa. And I'm going to start in Senegal, where I got a little bit of influence.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
When I heard your story, it made me think back to Aliko Dangote.
Right.
We talk about having all the resources. When we went and saw all the things that he's involved in, the concrete, you know, having great friends that have power plants and having cement and flour, like, these 2 gentlemen could build their own city. In terms of how you're creating the infrastructure for Akon City, like, how are we going about actually building it? Because we've heard a lot of talk about foreign investors coming in to take over and build infrastructure in Africa. What are your thoughts and what are the plans of how it's being built?
Well, pretty much how it's being built is all being built by, it started as a partner from the government and NGOs, but we decided to just make it, at the beginning it was a PPP, which is a public-private partnership, right? When you got private money, you got public money, and they work together. But then as I got into it, I realized this has to be more of a private investment. The government, their only allocation at the time was supposed to be the land. But then I realized I had to purchase the land. So I was like, okay, well, there ain't really no partnership if I gotta buy it.
Gotcha.
Right, can you help me out with the taxes? You know, so I was like, okay, cool. That ain't gonna work. So let me just buy the land. So I ended up buying the land. So now it became a complete private investment, you know, family offices, you know, wealthy individuals that just see the value in investing in Africa, especially with major development projects like this. And it's going to be the people like the Dangotes of the world that's going to invest. Because all I wanted really was African money to be in this project first. That's why my first round was allocated only for African investors, so that way they can actually benefit from the future of what this is. Because Akon City is going to be in 5 major countries within the next, well, my goal is for it to be in 5 major countries within the next 20 years, right? We've already got land in Uganda, which they gave me a whole, and that one is a public-private partnership because the government actually gave me the land, you know, and they actually are looking and believe in the full scope of what this could do for Uganda as well. You know, and that's right, it's a huge mountain that overlooks the Victoria Lake, that overlook the, you know, the Victoria, the falls, and it's like, Lake Victoria is like notorious for the beauty of just what it looks like, but it's a square mile, just right, like you literally looking at the lake, like it's beautiful, like breathtaking. You can't, like, I can't wait, but Senegal starts first, and then once that's on turnkey, then we go to Uganda and start the process over there, which will be the same process all the way down to, you know, there's land and people living on certain parts of land that we have to be able to move and give them something of equal value or better so they can be able to give us the opportunity to move around. But it's almost like when, what they call that, when you go into the hood and you have to redevelop and
Gentrification?
Gentrification to an extent, but this ain't gentrification though, this is just modification. Because they all understand what's going on, they all are for it, they love the idea. It's my responsibility to make sure that they're gonna be in a place just as good or comfortable or better. But once the city's built, they come back to that exact area where they lived and be able to get another place in the city. So it's almost like a holding time period from the time we actually have to build it all up.
So all of these cities are going to be called Akon City?
Yeah.
So it's like Alexander, like, you know, there's Alexandrias all
It's
over.
like Manhattan. How the Rockefellers controlled that. Because they got in early.
But you know, like there's an Alexandria in Egypt, there's an Alexandria
Oh, you're talking about countryside.
in Virginia, just like the name, like there's different cities with the same name in different parts of
I get it. Franchising cities.
franchise.
That's what we're doing.
Just hit me.
It just hit me. Hey, this peppermint tea had me like,
Yeah.
it was tasty, but that was tastier.
This is bigger than Mickey D's.
This is bigger than Mickey D's. Bigger than Mickey D's.
Got something here.